Hey guys, Brett here connecting from UbiCentral, and today I'm joined by Ruffin Prentiss, the voice actor for Marcus Holloway in Watch Dogs 2. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Brett, thanks for having me on, brother. I'm super excited to be the next Watch Dogs 2 voice actor on the show. And yeah, man, to talk some more Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, seriously, thank you so much for doing this interview. I know you're extremely busy, so it really does mean a lot, and I know a lot of people are really looking forward to this. Like, even before I started doing these interviews, I got comments like, you need to have the voice actor for Marcus on your channel. So just, again, thank you for doing this.
For sure, man. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So, starting this interview off, I just wanted to ask, did you know when applying for the position that you'd be working on Watch Dogs 2? And did you also know it would be like for the main character?
The answer to both of those questions is no. Um, Video games, I've come to learn through this process, they are like the most secretive companies ever. I mean, even in terms of so basically my audition came through my agent, and when I got the what we call audition sides, which were just like a couple of scenes, I read it and it read like television, and I'm used to auditioning for voice parts in video games, but that you just go into a booth and lay down the audition. But with this, it was different. It was my first time auditioning for a mocap role. Um, and so it was almost like auditioning for television, where they had the camera set up. You went into the casting director's office and you did the scenes with a reader, and then they might have given you some direction, and then you did it again. And the interesting thing at the end was that they just had you walk back and forth after the audition was done. And I guess that's to see what your posture's like, because mocap deals so much with your physicality, to see how your walk is. Um, and so when I auditioned, the sides were pretty much fake sides. Those scenes don't even exist in the game itself. Um, they just made it up. The character's name was made up. So you had no clue what game you were auditioning for, what company it was for. Um, and then on top of that, I definitely had no clue it was the main character. Um, to to find that out a little bit later was super exciting. I didn't find that out. Um, I probably auditioned in July, and I didn't find out I was the main character until maybe like the end of August.
So I was gonna ask, like, what was your reaction when you found out that you were the main character and it was on Watch Dogs 2?
Well, I used to be a decent gamer. I never was like a huge gamer, but when I went to college, I got so like into my studies. I I went to college to be a dentist originally, um, and eventually I found my love for acting and started to take it seriously. But when I got really deep into acting, I kind of stopped gaming, man. Um, like not as seriously. So when I found out it was Watch Dogs 2, I had heard of Watch Dogs. I mean, I had heard of the first one, but I had never played the game. I didn't know much about it, so I had to do a lot of research. Um, and when I realized it, this might be taboo, but like growing up gaming, my favorite games were the GTA's.
Yeah.
And when I found out Watch Dogs was an open world game similar to, but with hacking, I was like, dude, this is the most exciting thing I could ever be a part of. And then on top of that, when I found out I was the main character of that, oh man, I remember like I called maybe a select few friends, because you're not supposed to tell anyone, but I told them, I was just like, I'm doing this thing, and they're like, hey man, you're about to be immortalized in a game. And it kind of felt really cool, man. It's been a great journey, and when I got to go to Montreal for my facial scan, they took me through like the storyline of the game, and because as Marcus, I needed to know as much as I could before we started shooting. And man, like when they told me about the world and how everything was, and that I would be able to kind of contribute to the character itself, um, it's just been a great process ever since, man. It's been a blast.
Now, since the game was revealed, I've seen a lot of positive feedback from Marcus, and I feel like that's because he's so different from Aiden. And right off the bat, you can tell this is going to be a different game than the first one. So,
Mhm.
from your perspective, what has the response been like so far for Marcus?
I mean, it's been absolutely great. I don't know if you remember before, maybe was it before the game was announced? Um,
There was like a
the,
leak thing.
yeah, the leak of the image of of Marcus.
Yeah,
So that happened,
yeah, that
and
happened.
oh man, I I was kind of devastated because I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't like go out on the social media and be like, "This is not true." But at the same time, and at that point, I think we had finished like our main mocap for the cinematic scenes in the game, and I had been pouring myself into Marcus, and I was like so hurt that people thought he was somebody else.
Yeah,
Um,
I would
but
imagine.
at the same time, the image came out, and there were a lot of comments, and I was getting nervous because people have everybody's opinion is, I think, valid. Your opinion is your opinion, but people had the opinions varied just based on the image. But what's been cool is to see like as Ubisoft released the 360 of Marcus, where it was just a video of him doing parkour and moving, and then as they released more and more information, I think people are getting so excited about the fun that Marcus can bring to the game. And like you said, he's has a big contrast. There's a big contrast between him and Aiden. Um, and they handle their business in a different way. And I think Marcus definitely fits into the new tone that Ubisoft wanted Watch Dogs 2 to go into.
Honestly, it's so surprising because like there's already a lot of people cosplaying as Marcus, and the amount of fan art you and Wrench both have received is just insane because the game isn't even out yet.
I mean, like the thing that blew my mind, I think some of the devs went to, I think it was Germany, um, to a conference, and I saw guys there in Germany dressed up as Marcus and Wrench and Josh and Satara. People, it's blowing our minds. We talk to each other every day, the core DedSec voice actors, and we're just like, oh, we can't wait. And seeing the reaction from the fans has been, it makes all the hard work that we put in fully worth it. And we just hope that once the game comes out, the fans continue to dive in and fall more in love with the story and the characters. And I think this game has a lot of potential.
Yeah, so like you just said, I mean, the game hasn't released yet. It's coming out in 5 days on consoles and later this month on PC. So,
What?
yeah, so like, what is one thing you hope people will take away from Marcus while playing through the game?
I, I mean, I really think what Ubisoft did really well is kind of reestablish a new tone for the brand. Aiden was pretty serious. And in that same vein, there's something really cool that happens there too when you have kind of like a vigilante out for revenge. It gives you a lot of power to go kind of kick some butt, right? But when you have Marcus, the tone is a lot lighter. You can choose to go kick butt. You can choose to play stealthily, and not take lives. But ultimately, I think Marcus gives the tone of fun. And we want this game to be fun. We want the players to have such an enjoyable experience just playing the game. And to me, that's why, of course, I think games are meant to tell stories, but ultimately they're meant for us to kind of get out of the real world and have fun. And so that's what I want the players to take from Marcus for sure. Just to approach it whatever way they want, but just have a blast. Just go have some fun, kick it with your friends online if you want to do bounty or whatever, and just go have fun, man. Yeah.
Have you seen that trailer that came out recently where it's just Marcus dancing all over the city?
I have.
I think that's like one of the best videos. It was just so random, but it's awesome to see just 1 minute of him dancing.
It's literally like probably like 20 20 to 30 clips of just him doing dancing to a song. It's pretty cool, man. And all over San Francisco too.
Yeah, like now I'm sure most of the people watching this already know. If they don't know, I don't know why they're watching this, but like, can you tell us a little bit about Marcus and who he is? Like I said, I'm sure everyone already knows kind of who he is,
Yeah.
but yeah, just for that one person watching.
Marcus is a self-taught programmer hacker who was profiled by the system in San Francisco. Well, he's born in Oakland, originally from Oakland, and he now lives in San Francisco. But he's been profiled, wrongly accused by CTOS that is running rampant through the city. And Marcus is basically looking for a group of hackers to help him get some revenge, fight for what's right. And so eventually he finds DedSec, his family. And to me, Marcus's role within the game, he's just basically the medium for the player themselves to experience the city and experience the missions. And what I love about the game is that, they've given you so many clothing options. They've given you, it's a lot of things that you can manipulate with Marcus to make it more like you and make it more your experience. And like I said, he's your medium to just enjoy the city and take on Bloom, take down the system, take on CTOS.
And there's actually over 700 different clothing options, I want to say. And in the first game, I want to say there's like 20 outfits total. So you are right. Like he is basically our character. Like we get to customize him. If we do want to kill civilians, you won't actually get penalized for it. In the first game, there's kind of a reputation system. So
Yeah.
it is cool that you get to play the way you want. And just building on that, do you have any major similarities to Marcus? Like, are you good with computers and hacking?
No. I mean, I'm decent with computers. I mean, I've taken like simple website coding classes, um, and I took a information sciences class in college. But I'm an actor, man. In terms of, I couldn't hack anything if I wanted to. Not right now, at least. I'm sure I could learn, and I would love to learn, man. What the game presents as possibility within the hacking realm is mind blowing to me, and also the fact that some of this stuff and probably the majority of the stuff in the game really exists or can exist is I don't know. It's remarkable. So I admire people who have that tech savvy ability in themselves. But in terms of similarities, I mean, obviously his voice isn't far from mine. But I also like to think that we're both, fun loving guys. We both want to fight for what's right. It's hard when I step in the booth to do voiceover work. Like there's not different versions of Marcus, but like Marcus with DedSec is very different than Marcus when he's got to have a conversation with a rival hacker like Lenny or Dushan. But at the same time, he's always having fun. So I like to think the fun element, Marcus and Ruffin are very similar that way. We like to be silly when we can, but we know when to be serious too and take care of business.
So did the voice and performance acting kind of come naturally, or did it take some time, like for certain scenes, like you said, with DedSec, or if you were by yourself or with an enemy?
I mean, just like anything, I didn't try to do too much with my voice, other than sometimes make things more colloquial, if that makes sense, to a young black hacker, or a guy who grew up in Oakland, rather, who has been around tough people, but is also extremely intelligent and can code switch and be a social engineer, which is a big thing in the hacking world, where he can just move between people and not really be noticed. And so when it came to making decisions about vocal choices, a lot of it really just rang naturally. It really came easy because it was based on the circumstance that I was given in the storyline. And you just try to play that as truthfully as you can, and hope that it it rings true to the player.
And how was Mocap like wearing that green suit and everything?
Mocap is it's I had a blast doing mocap. What I can say about mocap is that first week is an adjustment. I've done some TV. I've done a lot of stage work, um, and there's nothing that's really impeding you from looking at the other actor. Um, but when you have the helmet on, there's something interesting about having an apparatus that reaches out about, I'd say maybe anywhere from 5 to 6 inches in front of your face. And when that happens, and you have another actor with the same apparatus, your spatial awareness is really skewed. So anytime you got close to someone, there was a lot of helmet bumping in the first week. We'd have scenes and be talking to each other, and someone would turn and just bash into the other person, and it wouldn't be painful or anything. No one got hurt in the making of this game, um, but at the same time, it would be jarring and be like, oh, and then you try to stay focused in the scene, but you know that a little bit of your focus was just taken out because you just into somebody. But outside of getting used to that, like once you got used to that, it's acting just like any other thing, and you just want to tell the truth and tell a great story. Um, and what I love about mocap, I like to say it's the perfect mix between working in television and working in theater, because it requires you to use as much imagination as theater does, but at the same time you're being recorded, and your performance is going to translate to something that's going to be on a screen eventually.
And did you end up actually doing any of the parkour or takedown animations, or were there like specific people for that?
There were specific people for the real the
Okay.
part. I mean, and I've met some of the guys, the stunt team that came in and did some of the takedowns and parkour, and these guys are like legitimate ninjas. They are extremely strong, extremely fast. They can get a note from the director on, this punch was a little too high, and adjust on the fly. They are magnificent. But what was cool, because I had to be there for some of this stuff, what they would do is they'd have them do the full sequence and then have me do it slow to capture um, my facial capture. And so I did get to do some of like the fighting stuff. Every now and then I got to hop over one item, but I definitely can't do the great parkour that Marcus does. I mean, you've seen it in the gameplay. That guy is agile.
Well, I mean, you kind of look agile.
Oh no, I'm not saying I'm not agile. I'm just not saying I'm Marcus agile.
Okay.
He's a world renowned parkour master.
Yeah. So I love asking this question to all the voice actors because I know it's a tough question, and that is, who is your favorite character in Watch Dogs 2 besides yourself, if you had to pick one?
Man, that is hard.
I'm sorry.
Uh, of course, I love DedSec. I love my family for life, and I wouldn't want to choose any of them over the other, and I say that with love to all of them. But I'm gonna probably throw in a wild card here. I really like Dushan Nimik,
I didn't see that coming.
the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him, man. He's so anytime you play a villain for actors, it's a lot of fun. So you really have to try to justify why this person does this thing, and put no judgment on it from yourself, from your own moral standpoint. You have to throw that away and justify why this person is doing this thing. Because anybody who's doing something most of the time doesn't think they're doing it wrong. If it's a bad thing, like nobody consciously is thinking, oh, I'm such an evil person. let me go do this. They're just like, oh, I need to do this for X, Y, and Z, whatever reasons. And so when I got to act with the actor who plays Dushan, we just had some really great moments, and I think that character uh, is a lot of fun. Um, if I got to play him in the reverse, it would be a lot of fun to play that role. And then also, I think he creates a great competition with Dead Set, and you'll get to play through it in the game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I like Dushan. I like a little bit of the evil side too.
I love how yesterday Jonathan Dubsky, the voice actor for Josh, tweeted out a picture of him wearing a Bloom shirt, and I think you know where this is going.
Don't make me mad.
You replied saying like, "Which side are you on?" And now
It's
you
just,
just picked Dushan Nimik as your favorite character.
well, I had to ask him to make sure he wasn't a double agent too. No, I'm just joking.
I just found that pretty interesting. So, last but not least, like, what has been your favorite moment so far from working on Watch Dogs 2? And I know there's a lot to choose from. So, I mean, you can list as many as you want, or if there's one standout moment or anything like that.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, that's another hard question. You save the hard ones for the end.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, working with the cast has been um, a life changing experience for me. I think I definitely became a better actor. Um, but more than anything, I've had a few people reach out to me who specifically are African American tech industry workers, um, or they're in school for programming, and I think what I love about Marcus is that he can be everybody, and he can be specifically who he is at the same time. And what I mean is, for the player, I think he's malleable enough that everyone can relate to him. But also, if you sit down and think about the specific story of Marcus, it's one that's not really told too often. Um, and so, one thing that's been great is having some fans reach out and just say how much it means to see a character that resembles them in their story in terms of their journey in the tech industry, whether that be Silicon Valley or studying at Stanford or just wherever they work. So that's been my favorite thing is taking a story that's not too common and trying to make it more universal and relevant, and known, because people like Marcus exist.
And I actually mentioned earlier, Watch Dogs 2 is releasing in 5 days. So I just wanted to get your like kind of reaction to that.
I can't wait. I no man, I am so excited. It's like I said, it's been a long time coming. I started working on this project. Like I said, the audition was in July 2015. So it's been over over a year getting to this place, and I'm on the short end because I know the developers and the writers, they've been working on it for even longer. You know, so I'm excited for it to come out. Every time a new trailer, the launch trailer just came out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But every time a new trailer comes out or the commercial came out recently, that's running. Anytime I see those things, I just get so excited, and I can't. What I'm really excited about is I know some fans like to take all of the scenes and cut them all together into like one cinematic movie. And me as the actor, because I know how long it took to shoot all the scenes, I just want to see all of the scenes together. Um,
Have you actually seen like an advertisement on TV, like, and just freaked out?
uh, I haven't freaked out on TV yet, but a bunch of my friends, like, I've had people pause the television during the commercial, take their phone out, record the commercial while it plays on TV, and then post it on social media. And that's been pretty cool. And people have been telling me, like it played during the World Series. Yeah, it's been playing in like big places. So yeah, I'm just super excited. We poured our hearts into this thing. The chemistry that I felt with my castmates we hope it really truly rings in the game, and I think it will. We really gave our all here.
Well, Ruffin, thank you so much again for coming on to do this interview. Is there anything that you'd like to plug, like a website or a Twitter?
Uh, you can check me out at Twitter. It's R Prentiss I because I am the third. Um, but check me out, R Prentiss I on Twitter and Instagram. I'll be in a couple of episodes of Elementary coming up. The first one I think is coming on the 20th of November. So check that out. And yeah, Watch Dogs 2.
November is an exciting month for you.
It's a good month for me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, there you have it. Thank you guys for all the support. It's been amazing. Again, I don't even know how like I made this happen. Like getting all of the voice actors on the channel, like it's insane. So just thank you guys for all the support. I will obviously have a lot more videos after Watch Dogs 2 releases. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all later.